Hello everyone, hope you all are doing well. So today we are going to discuss the next answer copy of our Aspire for Agriculture test series. So as you all know that we are having Aspire for Agriculture test series and we are discussing good amount of answer copies from that test series. And today we are going to discuss the copy of test 3 section B. So we have already discussed the section A of test 3 in previous video, and today we will be discussing the questions asked in section B of test 3 and how the student has approached that question. So let's start. And I will be discussing all the things in brief, all the important points I will be discussing because it is not uh, feasible to read every point and every line of the answer. So if you want to read every line of the answer, you can simply pause and read the answers. I will be discussing the important points. I will be generally highlighting the structure, important points, that will be enough. And if you want to read the answer, simply pause the video and read it. And analyzing these types of answer copies, it could be very helpful to you. You can get to know how to introduce, how to conclude, how to structure your answers, how to write certain points, how to add examples. So all these things you can learn from the mistakes of these students. So all these things can be very helpful to you. So let's start. So the first question was, discuss the scope and constraints of arid food production in India. So you all know what arid food production is. Arid, that is regions, dry regions. Arid regions are what? Dry regions, rainfall deficient regions. So how can they be, what are the constraints of fruit production in these regions, and what are the scope of fruit production in these regions? So both things needs to be highlighted, scope and constraint. So we all know that we have certain areas of arid region in Rajasthan. Obviously Gujarat has some parts, Haryana has some parts. We will see the scope first of all. For fruit crops, yes, many fruit crops can be grown such as citrus, bear, date palm, pomegranate. There is very much underutilized fruits which can be grown here such as kher, falsa, fig. All these fruits are not much that grown in India, but they are very nutritious. So these are known as underutilized fruit which can be grown in these regions. All these can be very helpful to our body obviously, but these points needs to be escaped. It looks a kind of vague because we here have to discuss about uh, arid areas, not about fruits. Yes, it improves the income of farmer in this region, good point. It can be used as wind breaks, it can be used as fence. So fair written answer. Now there are some constraints also. Climate, obviously dry climate can be a hindrance. The soil present in these areas, especially sandy soils, deficient in macronutrient and other things. Water scarcity, obviously another point. High initial cost will be taken because you have to prepare the land, and here the farmers are very much improvised. So that could be a problem. Transportation could be a problem. Post harvest management could be a problem because the presence of cold storage and other things are very less in these areas, and we all know that fruits are replenishable items, so that could create a problem. So well written points and well concluded. Now let's move to the next question. The next question is, discuss the role of protective cultivation in doubling farmers' income. Protective cultivation. So what are protective cultivation? The things which you use such as greenhouse, shade net, all these things comes under protective cultivation. And how can they be help in doubling farmers' income or rising farmers' income? Obviously, they will lead to increasing of productivity. Many times 10 to 20 times of fruits can be grown. Reduce the pests and infestation. Obviously, it will be well monitored. Control over production environment is more there, and due to which we can grow here off seasons also. Suppose there is a kharif crop, or you can say kharif, any crop. So that would be grown in, and this crop is very profitable for a farmer, but it can be grown in one season only. But in these protective cultivations, we can grow in multiple seasons also because we can create the macro environment as per our own. So that can be helpful. Off season cultivation, you can produce vegetables outside the regular season. Obviously the one point is written protection probiotic stress. So well written points. If you want to read it, you can simply pause the video and read the answers. The next question is, differentiate between training and pruning. So a very important question asked various times. So we all know both are very popular horticultural operations done on the plants. So generally we will see the major differences. So training, it determines the height, obviously generally done during initial period. So this is good point. So training is generally done in the initial period of the plants. Okay. the initial period of cultivation. It determines the details of plant, etc. So all these things, example have been mentioned such as central leader system, modified leader system, or other things. So today I have not taken a corrected copy, although this copy was corrected and sent to the student, but I have taken a fresh copy so that all the things are clear. Or because in corrected copy there are many tick marks and highlights, so that is why I have taken this copy. So if you want that I should take corrected copies only, from the next video I will take the corrected sheets only. Now it is pruning. Determine the number of branches, generally done at reproductive stage. So what is it is a major difference. It is generally done at the initial stage of growth and it is done at the reproductive stage of the growth. So value 10 points, you can simply pause and read it. Examples have been also mentioned as pruning in rose flower, mango, guava. So good only. Now let's move to the next question. The next question is discuss in brief about various methods of vegetative propagation. So we all know what vegetative propagation is. That is, it is a kind of asexual method of propagation. Okay, so here we can produce using some kind of parts of the plant such as leaf, stem, root, these things. Now various methods. From stem we can do grafting, we can do budding. I think you all know these things. Examples of tea budding have been mentioned. Cutting can be done, layering can be done. From root we can do root cutting, from leaf we can do leaf cutting. So well written points. Major you should know is cutting, grafting, layering. So these are the major ones. Other ones have been also mentioned such as tuber from potato, bulb, onion, corn, gladius. So well written points. Now next question is maturity controls post-harvest management and storage of fruits. Elucidate. That is, you have to explain this. Obviously, maturity will control the post-harvest management and storage of fruits, because here we can know the fruits are ready for the market or not. Here we can obtain maximum retention from crop production. Here we can obviously control the post-harvest management. Flavors are dependent on maturity. Storage life is dependent on maturity. Susceptibility to pests and diseases sometimes are affected by maturity. Handling and transportation, ripening, nutritional quality is dependent on maturity. So well written points. You can simply pause and read it. Let's move to the next question. So what is vinegar? And discuss its types and methods of preparation. So vinegar is chemical preservative used in cooking and preservation of fruits, vegetables for a longer period of time. Obviously you all know it. It is also a weak acid. We all know that acetic acid is present in vinegar. Now, types of vinegar has been mentioned such as white vinegar, apple cider vinegar, coconut vinegar, malt vinegar, rice vinegar. So when the vinegar is made from coconut, it is coconut. Made from rice, it is rice. Made from apple cider, then it is apple cider vinegar made from apple. Production has been mentioned. A word graph is mentioned. First of all, we will take raw materials, we will prepare and mix, we will ferment for 7 days. Then alcohol will be produced after fermentation. Then we will mix it with previous vinegar in collation in 1:3 ratio. We will acidification by cultured bacteria. Then again fermentation, maturation, filtration, pasteurization, and packaging. So this is how vinegar is produced. So well written points. Now let's move to the next question. The next question is discuss the package of practice of potato cultivation. So the student has mentioned some data about potato. In introduction, you can see the student has written too much. So I think this much data was enough. This could have been skipped. So potato is the fourth largest crop in terms of production after rice, wheat, and maize in India. So very good point. Its metric tons have been mentioned. Some states have been mentioned where it is produced. So package of practices, obviously scientific name has been mentioned, that is Solanum tubersum. So geographical area and distribution states have been mentioned. Climate have been mentioned, that it requires temperate range of climate, that is 20 degrees Celsius to 24 degrees Celsius. Soil type have been mentioned. Varieties, never miss varieties. Many students skip varieties because they find it difficult to remember it, but still try to remember one two varieties such as Kufri, Kufri Jyoti, Kufri Swarna, Helena, Nilkant. So these are all the varieties of potatoes. Land preparation has been mentioned. Time of sowing in hills March to April and autumn. Two times in summer March to April, in autumn August to September. Spacing have been mentioned. In plains October to November. So different points have been mentioned. Seed treatment we can use carbon disulfide solution. Sowing have been mentioned. fertilizer application have been mentioned, irrigation and water management, intercultural operations. So all the important points have been mentioned. So you can simply pause and read the answers if you want to. So you can use pendimethalin here, chlorine here. Pest and disease management have been mentioned. How can we manage the major disease of potatoes such as red blight and other things, harvesting, yield. So all these things have been well mentioned. Now let's move to the next question. The next question is discuss the maturity indices of common fruits and vegetables produced in India. So what maturity indices is when they are mature to be taken away from the plant and sent to the market for selling. So there are various maturity indices where we can harvest the crop. So for mango, it is fruit color change to yellow. Banana, for it is the disappearance of angularity. For guava, it is color break stretch from dark to light brown. So all these are the maturity indices of various crops. So generally they are changes in color, there will be changes in softness, changes in shape. So all these things determine generally the maturity index. So you can simply pause and read the maturity indices of all these crops. And lot of crops have been mentioned. I think 20 crops are more than enough for good marks. Pause and read it, please. Now let's move to the next question. The next question is differentiate between medicinal and aromatic plants. Also discuss the presence of antioxidants in fruits and vegetables and their role in human health. So first of all, we will see the difference between medicinal and aromatic plants. The medicinal plants are used to treat diseases. Obviously, we all know it. And other good points have been mentioned. For example, aloe vera is there. For example, we have other various important medicinal plants such as ashwagandha. We have ispagol. So all these things are medicinal plant. And aromatic plant is that is used in food, cosmetic industry, and other industries. Okay, and again you can see it has essential oils, so that has been to be mentioned. Example have been mentioned such as the rose hip oil, lavender essential oil, lemongrass. All these things are aromatic plants. Now the presence of antioxidants have been mentioned, and here the student has approached the crop way. And you can observe like this also, that vitamin A is present in these crops and vitamin B is present in these crops. This has to be done, or this is also fair. So in berries, vitamin A, C is present. In beets, vitamin C is present. So bulletin points, you can simply pause and read it. Now let's move to the next question. The next question is discuss the package and practices of mango. So basically we all know that mango is king of fruits known in India. Scientific name has been mentioned, Magnifera indica. Whenever you mention a scientific name, you can see the student is underlined and the second letter of the gen starting is always small. So that keep in mind. Package of practices have been mentioned. Geographical area, climate, soil type, varieties have been mentioned. Here is Amrapali, Dasari, Neelam. So these are the common varieties. I think you should know it. Land preparation have been mentioned. Time of planting have been mentioned. Several written points. You can simply pause and read it. Seed treatment, spacing, planting, all the things have been well mentioned. Simply pause the video and read the points. Now let's move to the next question. The next question is discuss types of temperature induced injuries in horticultural crops and briefly discuss their management. So what are temperature induced injuries? So generally injuries are of two types, from biotic factors or from abiotic factors. From abiotic factors it is from the living organisms, and abiotic factors it is from the non-living organisms, such as it could be temperature, water, heat, anything. So here temperature is a abiotic factor. Now we will see the types of injuries. First of all is heat injury, then there is necrosis, there could be heat rolling and cupping, wilt can be formed, flower and fruit chop can be formed, reduction in pollen production. So all these things are chilling injuries there. Okay, internal discoloration is there, hinder the ripening. So all these things are due to temperature changes. Water shock appearance could be there. So very 10 points, you can simply pause and read it, and examples of fruits have been also mentioned, with banana and papaya here. So that is a good point. So simply pause and read it. So that's all. This was all for today's answer. So I hope you pause the video at several intervals and read the answers. And I have also highlighted the important points. So that is all for today. If you like it, please press the like button. Please do share and please do subscribe. It takes a lot of hard work to make such videos for you on a regular basis. And if you like, if you share, if you subscribe, it motivates us to make more such videos for you regularly. So that is all for today. Have a nice day. Thank you.